Radio Scotland. Cambridge scientists have developed a urine test for the early detection of lung cancer. The world's first test looks for zombie cells that could indicate early signs of the disease. Experts involved in the study, which is being funded by Cancer Research UK, said they were keen to find a test which was a cheaper alternative to expensive scans. Well, let's speak to one of them now. Professor Liliana Fruch is here with us. A very good morning to you.
Good morning.
This sounds really interesting. Tell us more about this test and how you developed it.
Yes, we, together with my colleagues from Early Cancer Institute, we were looking at the tissues before the cancer develops. And we knew that tissues start to change, organs start to change way before we can detect cancer cells. And one of the reasons for this are zombie cells, which appear in our organs. They can be a product of accumulated stress within the organ as well. And in the past few years, we were studying proteins which are released by these cells to prime the organs for the growth of cancer. And we identified a protein which is specific to lung cancer. And then we set out to develop a technology that would enable us to detect these early signs of changes in organs. And we wanted to have something affordable, and urine is, of course, an excellent way of screening because it's easily taken out in the hospitals and analyzed.
Yeah, and you used a silver solution, is that right? That's used in photography. In the early days of analog photos, you added that to the urine.
Yes, we were looking into something that is going to be affordable, and we wanted to make a good use of the knowledge that we had in our lab in how can we convert silver and gold into useful probes that we can see by eye. And it turns out ordinary silver solution is very good for making actually this urine test work.
And how successful do you think it was then in detecting these possible cases much earlier?
Yes, so it's very. I mean, we tested it in mice studies on different stages of disease, and we could see that we really get a positive test in the urine. So we know it really, really works. The next stages are now to get a little bit more funding and join our clinical collaborators so that we can also do studies in human patients. And this is a much larger study, but this is something that then will definitely give us a really solid data so that we can commercialize the test and we can bring it to the hospitals.
And lung cancer is often identified in the later stages, isn't it? So you'll really be hoping that you can advance this if it possibly could mean earlier intervention.
Absolutely. And Cancer Research UK has recognized different types of cancers as the cancers of unmet need, hard to treat cancers. And lung cancer is one of them, as it's diagnosed really at the late stages. So we were really pressed and encouraged also by the funding that we got to look at the ways how to detect it before with a relatively simple and cost-effective test.
And how quickly do you think you might be able to start testing this with humans?
Well, I mean, it usually takes 1 or 2 years to organize the study and get all of the ethics approved, which is very important ultimately, because if we do all of the steps now correctly and we are already working on this, then we will be faster in translating this technology as well.
And are you hopeful it might be able to detect these zombie cells, so-called zombie cells, in other cancers as well then, beyond lung cancer?
Yes. So several of our colleagues are focusing on different types of cancers as well, and we are collaborating with them. So we are hoping, because we know that they are involved in many different types of cancers, particularly solid tumors. We are hoping that this will be translatable. However, every cancer comes with a new set of molecules which then need to be identified. And this is something that we are hoping to work alongside our colleagues to do this.
Yeah, it sounds like possibly a really exciting advance, though, for a cancer that is difficult, isn't it, to survive. Only 10% survive for 10 years after a diagnosis of lung cancer.
And I think it's a very important advance, because we do have therapeutic strategies that can work in many different types of cancers, but sometimes the issues are the stages of the cancer. So if we are capable of detecting even before we have a large number of cancer cells, we have a better chances of treating patients with a less chemotherapy that is more effective. And this, of course, is not possible if we don't have the collaboration across the disciplines. And this is something that Cancer Research UK and UK government also recognized, and it's funding these large studies which require lots of experts.
Fascinating to hear about it this morning. Thank you so much, Professor Fruch. That was Professor Liliana Fruch there of Cambridge University.
It's just coming up to 7.